All right, guys, so I'm gonna start this video off for the knuckles. I just met up with TJ from One Motion Garage. He did the shortening of these knuckles, the red ones that I've been test fitting everything with, off the car, and I had him shorten them 1.5 inches compared to the 3/4 of an inch that the purple knuckles that are currently on the car are shortened. And I went to TJ because when it comes to TIG work, he's a pretty good reputation for doing a lot of drift car cages, knuckles, and different kinds of car setups and things like that. And he's really good when it comes to TIG welding. So let me show you these knuckles. They're pretty good looking knuckles. Like, it's all smooth and nice. I mean, obviously there's a metal thickness difference from one end of the knuckle to the other, but like, look at that. That looks pretty good. So the weather's gonna be crappy for the next few days, so I'm hoping I can find some time to get these knuckles onto the car and see how much steering angle I'm going to have with 1.5 inch shortened knuckles as opposed to 3/4 inch shortened knuckles. And these are going to be what I'm running this season no matter what, really. But we'll do a little compare and contrast. Maybe I'll take some measurements to get the angles and things like that. But yeah, these things are dope. All right, so today I'm going to get this right side knuckle on the car. Got it painted black here, and I'm going to start by pulling the front right knuckle off yet again and not touching the tie rods at all. So like I said in previous videos, with this setup, the tie rods are fully compressed and they are towed in a little bit. So I'll see if I'll have to make any changes to the tie rod arm length once these new knuckles are on, but I'm thinking it might put me into a better spec where I'll actually have to they'll tow the wheels out, these knuckles being shorter. So first I'm gonna do is just pop off the center axle nut before I take the wheel off. That just holds the stub in place. Then I'm gonna jack the car up, take this wheel off, take the wheel spacer off, brakes, separate the lower ball joint from the lower control arm, then the coilover bolts. So I'll just jump to when that's done because you guys have seen me do that enough over the last couple of videos. All right, and just like that, the whole front end is apart again. So I have the 25mm spacer and the lug nuts for that. I have new lugs for that. I'm also going to clean up the back side of it. It's a little rusty from being on the brake rotor here. Got the brake rotor, axle stub. I'm going to clean up the splines and re-grease those so I don't ever have to worry about that getting jammed up. I don't know if I have any brake clean to spray that down with, but I'm going to try and wipe that down and clean it up. The wheel hub, that hub is still good. So same thing, I'm going to wire brush those lug studs. Clean up the middle section here just so it looks better, and then clean this edge up and re-grease it as well so that when it goes into the new hub, that's the old hub or the old knuckle, that'll be good. And yeah, all right, so I sanded down the rotor hat, or just ground off the rust with a little wheel, and then sprayed some black paint on it. Did the same for the wheel hub and got some new project kicks, like shorty, they're the bull lock nuts. So they're on there too to replace the crappy ones that were previously on the spacers. And then I'm just gonna wipe this down, bring the grease over, and we'll get this thing installed into the knuckle. I like covering basically every contact area and like the bolts and stuff, not the threads, in just some grease, just so that the next time I have to pull this out, like how easy it was for me to pull it out today, and it's been in there for like 3 years, I won't have any issues, and it'll prevent any kind of like corrosion buildup and things like that. So I'm just gonna try and get a better handle on this, and it slides right in. I love bolt-in hubs, they're the best. All right, stubs in, everything's tight. Time to get, I keep hitting the LCA, whoops. Time to get the 5/8 drill bit, drill this hole out so that I can bolt this guy on, along with reinstall the brake rotor, the wheel spacer, and the brake caliper. And then we'll put this thing on the ground. I'm gonna try and zero out the toe a little bit again, probably by unscrewing this, which seems to be necessary because with this, what appears to be straight to me, we're missing. So I'm gonna have to take out some adjustment here because in order for this guy to fit in, it's gonna tow out a lot, which is exactly what I wanted. And that's what I mentioned in the beginning of the video. So we'll get to unscrew this guy a little bit and see if we can get this thing in an eyeball spec so I can show you guys, and I'll see for myself how much steering angle I now have on the front of this car. And it looks like it's not going to take a whole lot to get it within the spec. All right, guys, so I can already tell you here, this car has a lot more steering angle. Now, mind you, I have the 10.5-inch wide front Anki RPF ones on the front, so it kind of downplays the improvement in steering angle. So maybe I will show you with one of the 9.5s that I run, the Kojins in the front for the track. So what am I gonna do first? Let me turn the car on and I'll show you. So that is this side. Take a good look. Turned out. And I'll turn the car on and I'll show you this side. So this is this side turned out. So looking from above, you can definitely tell there's an improvement. So I'll put the 9.5 on that side now, because again, this side, the driver's side, still has the 3/4 inch shortened knuckle. Passenger side has the 1.5 inch right now. So let's get the 9.5 on. I'll show you guys what it looks like. And here we are with the 9.5. That is what I'm talking about. So I dropped the car back down. It turns in a little bit when you put the weight of the car back on it. But again, like when the car is moving, I'll be able to get that little bit back out. But yeah, this is much, much, much better. I'm curious to how this will ride on the track, as far as if there's going to be any kind of steering bind or anything like that. And if we look in here, I mentioned the spacer being too much. Yeah, spacer will be too much. It's on a downward angle, so I'm going to get rid of most of that, to be honest with you. Just run like maybe a 1/2 inch little guy. But yeah, this is a lot more than what I've ever had. I don't think it's rubbing inside of here or anything. It's very close, but I don't think it is. Some suspension compression will probably cause some rubbing, but that's something we'll have to worry about at a later date. Get this off the jack fully. All right, so the highlighter yellow wheels are back on the car. I'm gonna go inside and order some steer tires for them now. And basically this thing is ready to get loaded up on a trailer and get brought to Paulie's so that we can get it aligned and it'll be good to go for the season. Driver's side is complete as well. Plenty of adjustment on the tie rods, just as I had hoped, to get the toe out that I want. And we are good to go. You guys saw the angle earlier, and that is it. Hopefully soon all this quarantine stuff will start lifting, but I really want to get this thing tested to see how well it does with the new knuckle setup. So shout out to TJ at One Motion Garage for cutting these knuckles for me. And then fingers crossed that we can get this thing, we can see how this thing does soon. It's kind of getting old, this whole quarantine thing. So thanks for watching, guys. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.